All right, today we're going to tackle a word you hear thrown around constantly, microservices. But we're zooming in on that first part, the micro, because it turns out it's not really about just being small. It's about a really powerful idea that kind of changes the whole game. So let me just throw this out there right away. What if the most important part of the word microservices isn't micro? Seriously, what if that word is just a signpost pointing to something much, much bigger? That's what we're digging into today. And to really get what's going on, we have to start with the core concept that gives microservices their name, and that is the principle of small batches. So, what is this batch size reduction? Honestly, it's a deceptively simple idea. It's just about making the chunks of work we do smaller. That's it. Whether it's a huge project, a daily task, or a software release, the goal is to shrink the batch. Why? Because when you do that, you can move faster, get feedback quicker, and just be way more efficient. Seriously, this one idea is the key to unlocking this whole topic. Okay, but where did this idea even come from? This smaller is better thing. Well, it's not new, not at all. In fact, if you've been around the software world for a bit, you've definitely seen this principle in action, shaking things up over and over again. You can think of it as this common thread weaving through all of modern software development. Look at Agile, right? It took these enormous, months-long projects and chopped them down into small, weekly sprints. It reduced the batch size of the process. Then you have the lean startup. It did the same thing for ideas, shrinking a whole product down to an MVP just to get feedback faster. And then continuous delivery comes along and applies it to deployments, taking these giant, scary quarterly releases and turning them into tiny, everyday updates. See the pattern? Every step is about making the batch smaller to get faster and safer. And that brings us right back to where we started. The micro in microservices, it's just the next logical step in that evolution. We're taking that same powerful idea of reducing the batch size and pushing it one level deeper, right into the architecture itself. Okay, so we've got the history down. But let's talk about the why. What's the real benefit here? Why does making things smaller work so incredibly well? The best way to see the difference is to just compare the old way to the new. Remember the old way? It was like a rocket launch. You'd bundle months of work into one giant, terrifying, high-stakes release. Everything had to be perfect. The cost of failure was just massive. Now, compare that to today. Thanks to automation, we can have this constant stream of tiny, low-risk changes going out. The cost of any one change is practically nothing. And that changes everything about how you build software. This new way of thinking has led to a rule of thumb that a lot of the best teams live by. One major change per release. That's it. One feature, one bug fix, one refactor. It sounds super strict, I know, but there is a really, really good reason for it. But yeah, why just one? It feels a little extreme, right? Well, it all comes down to one thing: managing risk. Here's the critical piece of the puzzle you have to get. Risk doesn't add up, it multiplies. When you cram a bunch of changes into one release, the number of ways they can all crash into each other and cause a problem doesn't just go up a little bit, it explodes. It grows exponentially. The more you pack in, the less you can predict what's going to happen. Let's just look at the numbers for a second. Let's say you have 5 changes in a release. Okay, that gives you 10 potential conflicts. You can probably handle that. But what if you bundle 10 changes? Suddenly you're looking at 45 potential ways things can go wrong. And at 15 changes, it's over 100. It gets out of control fast. So by keeping your releases small, you're not just moving faster, you're making the whole system dramatically safer. So this all leads to the million-dollar question, right? The one everyone asks when they start down this path. Okay, but how micro is micro? How small should a service actually be? And the answer has nothing to do with how many lines of code it has. The best advice out there says a service should be defined by what it does. It should be just big enough to handle one complete business job. Think user profiles or shopping cart, and that's it. This way of thinking comes from a discipline called domain-driven design, which is all about building software that mirrors how the business actually works. So you end up with this natural tension, this balancing act. On one side, you've got the tech side pushing you to go smaller and smaller. I mean, tiny services are super easy to work with, right? Easy to build, easy to test, easy to deploy. That's the speed part. But then you have the business side pulling back saying, whoa, Hold on. A service has to make sense. If it's too small, it doesn't mean anything anymore, and everything gets confusing. That's the clarity part. So what does that mean? It means there's no magic number. There's no formula. Finding the right size for your service isn't a technical problem, it's a strategic decision. You have to balance the technical need for speed with the business need for clarity. All right, that was a lot. So let's boil it all down to the most important things to take away from this. Okay, number one, micro is really just code for batch size reduction applied to your architecture. Number two, small batches aren't just faster, they're way, way safer because they cut down on risk. And number three, the perfect size for a service isn't a number you calculate, it's a balance you find between what's technically easy and what makes business sense. And I want to leave you with one final thought to chew on. Maybe we've been asking the wrong question this whole time. Instead of asking, how small should a service be? What if we asked, what is the smallest piece of our system that we can replace, safely and on its own? When you start thinking about replaceability instead of just size, that's when you're really getting what microservices are all about. Hey, thanks for tuning in. If this explainer helped you see things in a new light, do me a favor and hit that like button, share it with someone, and subscribe for more. We'll see you in the next one.